Hey everybody. We're getting ready to get started here on the first draft tournament game. We had some people join us for a scrim the other day. We had something like 30 people in the scrim, but I think because of the hour of the day and just because people have had a little time since the announcements, it's not quite as many of you are joining us this morning. But those of you who do or who are, it's great to have you, and I'm excited to bring you a couple of games. And that'll start just in a moment. I think they're resetting the server and trying to get the best performance out of the equipment that is possible, so that the experience for both the players and the viewers is the best thing that we can possibly bring you. And it's going to be just a moment, so bear with me. There's always a little bit of technical finagling when it comes to our community run small little wonderful gem of game. So just know that that's just about to happen. Yeah. So the draft format that we are doing right now, I don't think the maps are settled for the first rounds of the draft. I think maybe the teams each get to pick one. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm pretty sure that the first map we're going to be playing on today is the ever-favorited Zombie. I'm fairly certain that's what we're going to get this morning. And it's a map we're all pretty familiar with. So enough said, basically. But yeah, Noky and Blensidi's team. You know what? I can pull up a little bit. Let's see. Let's see if I can figure out how to find this. Yeah, I want to show the rosters of the teams. So if you pilot to the NSL announcements part of the Discord, you'll be able to see the... here, I'll just make another screen capture. Bear with me, guys. I know this is pretty jank, but I wasn't expecting to do this. So, if we zoom in on this... Anyways, so, let's see. So, yeah, Noky's team is the captained by Noky. He's got Snowblind, who's a tier 7 from Australia. He's got Mephiles, which is a player that's been playing for a long time. I'm not as familiar with the rest of their team. I think Arab King, there was a sort of one of the teams that was started in the tournament. That'd be Yuffie's team with Noky, Yuffie, Yuffie, Knifey, Pookie, Omega, Drop. I think they sort of dissolved, and I'm not entirely sure if Noky's roster has stayed the same, because I think the reason for their disillusionment is that Omega wanted to be traded, and I think before the team collapsed, he was traded to Noky's team. It happens. There are players that play really well together, and I think there really aren't any hard feelings or anything, but I think it was just hard to organize the team, and it's just pretty... so that team ended up kind of disbanding, but I believe for Noky's team, we now have Snowblind, Mephiles, Random, Zex, and Omega instead of Arab King. But it's possible that Arab King subs in for one of the other players because he is a comp player, and there are few enough of those in the draft tournament, and Noky did put a lot of points in behind getting Arab King. Arab King's a guy who plays a ton of TD. He plays a ton of gathers. He knows the format pretty well, and he's definitely up for performing highly at this tournament. I think some players don't always agree with some of his tactical choices, but this is a guy who always has an idea of what he wants to do in a match. And I think that's something that's really important to highlight. I mean, I'm a low-tier comm player. Some might say the worst in the game, but I still have a ton of fun. I hope people have fun when we get the chance to play together. But one of the things that I find myself doing is kind of falling into rote patterns. Arab King is not one of those guys. He has an idea of what he wants to do, and sometimes it can be pretty diverse. And that's definitely important for him to lead a team, or not lead a team, but be from that commanding position and get people to cooperate. I'm still looking for the server to come back online, so give us a second as I fill space. Okay, here it is. And for Blensidi's team, you guys are probably a little bit less familiar with some of the players on Blend's team because they play in different time zones. We've got Blend, who's been playing for ages, has had different amounts of activity during different seasons, but great player. Green Rex, he put almost all of his stock into. Green Rex is a super strong player, and I think a very smart player, but I feel like his lurk is one of the most ferocious in the game, but it helps when he's not one who normally makes a lot of on-field calls. So I think it really helps to have a player or two who are good at kind of field commanding, and kind of saying what's happening in front of Rex. Green Rex, like, he definitely can be on the mic, but in my experience with him, he's pretty quiet. So even calling out damage numbers and stuff like that, although he's like this super top tier player, I think it's definitely important to have somebody on your team who can make those kind of quick judgment and communicative bridge between the rest of the team. So on their team, they have Green Rex, Ike, MST, Wraith, and Dre. Wraith will be in the chair. Dre and MST are pretty good shooters. I'm not super familiar with Ike. MST can probably step it up and fill in that role where he's making calls. It's not something he normally does, but he has tons and tons of experience. And when it comes down to just organizing a team around a little draft tournament like this, it helps to know the maps and to know the format. And I'm sure everybody who's playing in this sort of does to some extent or another, but it's MSTs are definitely a player that you want to have on your team. All right. Looks like almost everybody is in the server already. Just a little bit longer. Yeah, I think Ike is one of those players who plays a lot of pubs, but is actually very, very good. And we love to see those players because we want to bring more folks into the competitive community, the competitive format. I mean, we're going to be biased in this community or in the competitive side of things, because we like it. Yeah, the 6v6 format, it's like, it definitely makes the game. Stay on Gates. Okay. So, stay on Gates. Lots of inside jokes between teams. But, yeah, sorry. I was having a coffee-related malfunction this morning, so I have not actually had any coffee, and it's early, and I didn't sleep very well last night, so you know. Yeah, I'm sure there are players and people joining right now that are have different, have more severe kind of issues with the time zone, so so many of the Euro players are playing at like 4 a.m. when we play gathers and stuff like that, so nothing to complain about here, really. Yeah, just a few more players about to join up. It looks like we had one connected that had to rejoin. Um, I am gonna actually like do a cup of pour over. I have the water boiled already. I just need to run and go do that. I'll be right back. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, my coffee addiction is pretty severe, and it definitely helps to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to do a little bit of a stream. So, get my bean juice going, and we'll be starting in just a second. Yeah, it's cool. I'm pretty happy. I mean, it was fun. Everybody really seemed to enjoy the actual draft phase of the draft tournament. It was pretty cool to see like people getting involved in something that's like a little silly and like makes for good content, but it's also us looking at spreadsheets. And I was surprised to see how many people were involved. So it's cool that this format is viable like that. And I think we got to hand it to Noky. I mean, Knifey. I think he did find the way to structure the ban or the pick phase from another group of people, another small game that did a draft tournament like this. So it was wonky, and I was like ready for it not to work, but it totally did, and everybody had a good time. So maybe we'll get to see some more of this in the future. And relatively balanced teams. I mean, there's some great players on both sides, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. I hope we have really like close competitive games throughout the series. I think there are a few teams that are kind of super scary, but I think these two look like they're going to be pretty closely matched. We'll see how it plays out. Wraithling on the Marine Commander and Arab King on Alien Commander. These are guys who play a lot of comm. But like myself, sometimes, sometimes buyer eats. Sometimes you eat the buyer, and sometimes the buyer eats you. If you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think it'll be really cool to see these guys kind of duel it out. We'll keep a special eye on build order and and little wonkiness in the strategy, and I'll try to highlight if we think that's like standard play or what's going on. And we're going to be talking about the way things split and way things move too, of course, but it'll be interesting to see how these folks manage their teams. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have for Noky's team. He's gonna be, or for Stay on Gates. For Stay on Gates, I think we're probably gonna have a lot of people, or a lot of people listening to Noky. Noky's probably gonna be making most of the calls. He tends to play like most players, but some really know how to kind of manage both their thinking mind, the part of their brain that communicates. Okay, I'm gonna switch my overlay. Give me just 1 second. Oop. All right, game started. Here we go. Oh, where's my map? Didn't render the map for a second. So standard split from the Marines. We're going to have Ike and Blensidi going. Let's see if Noky's able to catch this Parasite before the Marine spots him. Mephile's also going to have some drama over there. Zex is Pookie's younger brother and is fairly new to the game, but has some is fairly far forward in gravity. He's made... Yeah, doesn't take too much damage as he backs off from that Marine. The Marine knows there's a Skulk there. Another Mephiles is playing just around the corner. This allows him to both come back and hit Blensidi as Noky drags him back. Noky gonna jump across, and Blensidi, there's a little bit of a lag difference, and it looked like he was able to unload an entire clip into Noky before Noky was registering it. I mean, hard to say whether that's an issue with lag or whether he just came around into his crosshair. Greenwreck's gonna find this kill. Snowblind doesn't see him, but Snowblind showing there, I think, yeah, he's played Zombie plenty of times, but sort of his movement there wasn't really going towards an exit or, you know, a way to block those bullets. Some circle around as he got surprised. Two Skulks coming around the corner. This will be able to be collapsed upon. Arab King also coming out, but good space created by this Marine. Two aliens killed by Blensidi, and Blensidi actually killed by his fellow Marine, Ike. There is team damage in the competitive format, so unfortunately for Blensidi, he does get killed by his teammate. Standard stuff. Armor 1 finished. Couple of seconds already. No Armor 2 started. The Marine Commander finally starting it. You know, it feels like that was pretty quick, and it was, but even having a couple of seconds before that upgrade gets started, oh my god, Blensidi absolutely destroying on this lane. Unfortunately, his team, I think they've got too many people on the left side with Blensidi dying. But yeah, if they had one of those Marines, this guy who's been sitting in, I guess that's MST. MST's been sitting waiting for that node, but they couldn't really drop it without another Marine there because he has a Parasite and two Marines died directly in front of him. It wasn't going to be safe to drop it. Now they finally do. But yeah, 3 people again on the left side of the field. It's generally something you don't want to do on Zombie. But they might be happy about it now. A lot of their res is going to be on that side of the map. The Marines with 5 RTs, the Aliens 4. Both teams doing pretty standard stuff here. But having 5 RTs established is pretty good news for the Marine team. It's going to let them compete pretty well with the Aliens. If they can just pop a life form here, they're going to be... Oh, Dre! This is one of those really important moments. Almost gets the lurk. Dre able to sit in the vent for a little bit longer. Really dangerous for a lurk coming through there if there's a Marine already in the vent. Of course, that is because there's no dodging in a small little hole like that. Yeah, interesting grouping again from the Marines. I think they were trying to look for the timing for this hive drop, possibly. Gonna take Blends. Point of view. Oh! Finding the Gorge! Not able to take him out, unfortunately for him. He goes hard on the Gorge and doesn't quite kill him. A little bit bummed out about that. Few bullets not meeting their target. 1 HP, says Ranger. Ranger. I wonder if he's also casting. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so Arab King going hard on the res, and the Marines slowly getting back out on the field. These lurks are really changing the ability to put on aggression, as they always do. Blend not connecting too much with Zex. Zex taking a little bit of a risky engagement, but neither of the Marines were watching him as they were focused on Mephiles in that vent. Unfortunately for them, they probably could have spun around and got that kill on Zex. Ike unable to take the Skulk off the resource node and then dies to it. That's an engagement you want to be able to win as a solo Marine against the Skulk. This means that they're going to have to scramble to get their res lane back. Marines with a pretty steady upgrade path. Standard stuff. The hive is now up and biomass 4 being upgraded. The first biomass, or well, I guess that would be biomass 3. Yeah, we'll see if Arab King, yeah, he's electing to go biomass on both hives and a level 3 biomass on his original hive. This is probably gonna yield fast Umbra. We've seen this a lot in competitive play these days. People kind of preferring Umbra and higher upgrades for life forms over. It's an interesting thing. I don't know what they're planning on doing. Marine does take the kill, but Snowblind is there, and he's unscouted. Fortunately, there's no actual res invested by the Marine team. They are denying this RT for a lot longer, but gates are up, and they're going to be able to hold 3 easily off of these gates. MST looking a little stuck. Is able to kind of figure his way around. But aliens are now in a pretty high advantage. The Marine res is about to be challenged. This gate is not super aggressive. And their res on the other side is just now coming back up. Noky hitting his fade timing. Gonna take a Marine. That means no life forms have died yet. 2 fades being run by the alien team. So they've had this huge amount of control since lurks come out, and now fades are out on top of it. Nothing going down yet for the Marines. And this is a hard place to be in. Oh, shit. This is a hard place to be in for the Marine players. They do have that gate finally established, but it's a long ways away until they have weapons too. It now finally just started. Only 3 resource towers established for them. And it's going to be really, really tough to pop a life form. They've already been struggling to find a lurk kill, and they have to sort of get this this gate in supply. It's super important that they do, and able to deny the 3rd hive. 3rd hive is sort of a death sentence for Marines in competitive. It really has to be denied. Luckily, they're able to hold on to this gravity gate. Really good stuff. Lots of meds on the ground, but at the end of the day, you've held on to the resource. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to hold on to the end of the hallway here in supply. And now the aliens are 1 step closer to establishing their hive. This Marine is probably going to get to take all assistant oxygenation and put a bunch of damage into the tower. But that means they can see that there's 3 Marines off of gates right now. Wraithling electing to jump out instead of beaconing. I believe that's the right choice there. Ooh, but Noky, the Fade's really not being challenged that much. They're almost full health, and now everybody is back on the spawn queue. This is a GG scenario for the Marines. There's almost no chance that they can come back from this. In fact, I'd say there's 0. The GG call probably about to come out. They don't want to do it quite yet. 1 Marine still rotating back. There it is. Green Rex comes up and says GG. Yeah, so Noky leading his team with 15 kills. I wonder how much of those were on his Fade life form, because Fades weren't up for that long, but Noky, deadly Fade player. The real situation here is that, oh wow, Blend shooting really well. a couple of engagements where Blensidi took 2 skulks and I think even, yeah, pulled 3 skulks into Organ and killed 2. It's too bad that that early pressure didn't lead to any successful node kills, because you would have imagined that somebody being so dominant on his side of the field, especially the left side like that, which is usually sort of the suicide lane in the beginning of the game, you can mostly, the common conventional knowledge is to only push 2 Marines down that lane and then try to cap. You do try to get EC as well. It's usually the 4th RT for the Marine team. But I think what we saw is a lot of successful pushes by Blensidi on his own, while 2 Marines were sort of like half a screen behind him on the map. And so by the time he gets cleared, he doesn't have any backup. He wins his engagement in kind of an extraordinary way, but because those guys are sort of floating in EC and offload instead of pushing into oxygenation, the team doesn't end up actually taking any concrete victory out of that. And that's got to be really tough, because here you have a player that's playing really well, and his team is not able to kind of fill in behind him. Let's see, what was Green Rex's performance that last game? Yeah, Green Rex not showing up as much as you would expect. Still, 27% is pretty good, especially on these levels of accuracy. His player damage and structure damage are a lot. His structure damage is especially a lot higher than other players on this team. And that's really important. Sometimes you get kind of pigeonholed, even if you're an excellent shooter, into doing things that are just kind of like pointing your gun at the ground or at an RT as you build it, or as an RT as you shoot it down. Trying to find those pressure points where the alien team wasn't controlling their back res, but instead he's kind of not grouping with. I don't think I ever really saw an engagement in the mid game where Blensidi and Green Rex were in the same room, and I think you might sort of have to sacrifice, in order to get a lurk kill, sacrifice a little map control to get those 2 players in the same fight. If you have those 2 players in the same fight, I mean, it's pretty hard not to imagine that a life form could get killed, even on Weapons 1, as they were when Lurks came out. I think Lurks actually preceded Weapons 1, but Weapons 1 was shortly after. It wasn't until Phase Gates that the tech path for the Marines really started to slow down. If there's anything you can say from a commander's perspective that might be a little bit of a risk, or could have been a little bit better, is they did cap up to 5 RTs, which sometimes is, I mean, it's obviously good to have multiple RTs, but if you lose the res as soon as it's been deployed, or you lose the res tower as soon as it's been built, it can actually be, there's these funny timings where it's like, well, it would actually been better if you had stayed on 4 and actually been able to control that res, and you're maybe getting to Weapons 2 a little bit faster. That and the med pack accuracy pretty low. Also, fairly few. Only sub 50 med packs that entire game. Good lord, very strange to see that, actually. In a game that was 9 minutes long, you would expect to see, I don't know, almost twice that many med packs, and the efficiency should be a lot higher. So, I think Wraith used to play more competitive than he is right now. He also has a big ping difference from the rest of his team, but that's a problem. I think maybe you win a couple more of those engagements in the early game, and pretty standard stuff. Again, the 2-1-2 split. Aliens doing just standard maneuvers as well. This cyst could be better placed, but there are 3 cysts in here, so I take it back. Still doing a good job on spreading those around. Back fat alone down this hallway. Ike maybe going to be brave enough to push forward. Wow, Noky doing a ton of damage. Can he take this other skull? Almost does. I think if it weren't for a couple of heal sprays right there, that would have been... Oh, God, I hate that the banner stays so much longer now. Sorry about that, guys. I was just trying to avoid having that plastered on the front of the screen. This RT, almost for sure dead. Huge loss for the Marines if it does go down. And in fact, it will. Ike really performing right there. Able to kill that Marine. And oh, doesn't quite get the RT. I zoomed away as soon as I thought it was doomed. But it does actually get saved by Arab King. That's the Marine commander. And Green Rex in a good position. Not checking his corners. Zach's not brave enough to go in the room, but it looks like neither of those guys were able to take any of those skulks in that engagement. So they should be able to get back out on the map fairly quickly and attack organ donation without it being a problem. Noky going to be found unloaded by Wraith King. Wraith going to get up there, but Ike finding the opening on the Marine side yet again. He's be able to leak on this RT, and this time it is his. He's going to be able to take it down, and that's going to be really tough. Losing an RT early on for either team is really hard to recover from. Wraith King got out. The Gorge is right around the corner, so this is not going to be permanent damage. But the commander getting out to try to save that, you want to be there already. There's ways where you can move quick enough so you can like establish your RTs, drop your first upgrade, and be in the ceiling and offload by the time Marines are getting there. Especially if you have a skull kind of delaying. I know we're 2 minutes into the round and that's really not what happened there, but at this point there's not a lot for the commander to be doing, and just like being a body inside of organ donation is going to help out a lot. Yeah, Ranger's good at finding that kind of stuff. I guess it's in the ceiling. There is a way where it can get stuck in the ceiling, and I guess he's gotten rid of it already. Ranger's sort of helping out, I guess. Lurks are out. Now we'll see if the regression goes flying back in the Marine's face. Waiting for that Marine to be on the reload. Snowblind was sort of staggering his rifle clip there, but ooh, MST almost dies. Zach's pretty much lasers him, but able to get out. Green Rex on his own doesn't see Mephiles. Mephiles pulling a very sneaky move, but unfortunately it's not going to gain him too much unless Green Rex thinks that this is a safe way to run. Unfortunately, not enough damage on Green Rex for that to be substantial there. Noky missing some of his clip, enough to force that player back to get heals. 3 birds up in the air for Blensidi's team. Ooh, wow, Zach's almost getting a kill there, and the meds were the difference in that fight. I mean, not like it was going to ever go in the direction of the Marine player there, but like getting a few meds, he almost does kill a lurk. And I think Arab right now showing Wraith that he could be working on med packs. I mean, Arab King, not usually one that is highlighted for extraordinary meds, but that being said, he's been hitting a lot of them in pretty crucial moments. Although they've been sort of scenarios where the Marines weren't likely to get a kill. You know, there were 2 lurks and a skulk in the room and he's medding, which maybe somebody would be, you know, that med right there. Who is it really worth it? I mean, he does force MST back, but it's unlikely that he's getting a kill. But he's on top of it. He's watching all of these engagements. He's there as fast as we're there. And he's landing his meds. So the difference is going to be really substantial. At the end of the game, we're going to see a lot more meds deployed in this game. And it might really be the difference. Armored 2 and Phase Tech started at the same time. able to balance a lot of upgrades. Very fast phase gates. You know, with 3 birds up in the air. Oh, wow, Zex! Okay. What the hell? Okay. I had to leave the match to rejoin because my spectator got stuck. I haven't seen that happen more than once ever in this. So, let's see. Good that they're able to kill a lurk. Still 2 more in the sky, but just taking one of those lurks out is really important. I mean, that sort of always seems to happen when you go triple lurk, that one of them ends up flashing fairly early. I think there's just a numbers thing. Of course, there's more lurks. It's more likely that one of them is going to die. And it also means that your lurks have to be on res sometimes and split from the other life forms. So, triple lurk, always very powerful for the moment, but like Zex, really performing well. I mean, he's going to be doing his brother proud here as he might be getting ambushed. He does see the skulk just in the last moment, but it was nice to see him shoot so well. He's had a couple of engagements where he's done a ton of damage to an incoming life form and was able to spin one of those out into a lurk kill. So he's leading his team right now, and I think he was one of their later picks. So Zach's really giving a lot of value to his team right now. Stay on gates, 1 round ahead. 2 lurks flying in towards this clear in skylights, but if their brother Marine was actually watching this engagement, I don't really know what Zex was doing going back there. Maybe he thought somebody was going to hit supply lines. That being said, though, Marines on 5 RTs with gates coming out right now, banking a bit of money. They will have weapons 2 started in just a moment, most likely. The entire alien pack, or majority of their life forms, going towards EC. That's going to pull Marines away, but does this give them enough time? Instead of going for a gate, they're just looking for cheeky upgrades. Maybe they think they're on fade timing right now, but they missed that window. They're going to come back here and clear this tunnel, but they're trading a tunnel for 2 RTs currently, maybe even 3, as we see another Skulk is in repair. This is going to decimate the economy of the Marines. And what did they really get for it? Not much. Maybe establishing a gate there with Noky and whoever else was with him, Noky and Backfat, would have been more substantial. But the fact that they're able to hold on to this RT is very important. Zach's in a good ambush position, not leaving gates too far, but they're just barely able to hold on to their upgrades or their position on the map while trying to reestablish. This RT welded back up to about 70%. Zach's gonna get parasited before he sees the Skulk. So focused on that gate he was that he didn't see the life forms coming from the direction that they would most likely be coming from. So Arab King coming out, scaring away that lurk. 2 tunnels, 2 exits being dropped here. Kind of a cool technique, a way to make it even harder to desist that res node. That is kind of strange. What is up with that tunnel? That is a weird bug. I have never seen that before. So there are more tunnels than they should be able to have right now, and that's a first for me. But they're not open, and I think, yeah, I don't know what's creating that. But that's really weird. Yeah, this Fate needs to run Ike in a kind of difficult position. But the aliens are on 5, almost 6 Riz nodes to the Marines 3. If Zex kills another lurk here, however, oh my gosh. It wasn't actually Zex the one able to make the kill there, but he did most of the damage. Supply established, MST in ambush, but yeah, the gates for the Marines are really good. The upgrades are good. The res income is bad, but they have enough right now to do, to fight the life forms that the aliens are able to produce. So if they can get, it might even be worth to delay recapping to get shotguns started. They aren't going to do that. They are going to reestablish supply. But, they're going to play, they've lost repairs as they're reestablishing supply. This gate will be able to hold the res lane in EC and supply lines. So it's going to be a lot safer even than repair, perhaps. But, yeah, they're just spending a lot of money and a lot of time right now recapping. Those 2 RTs, probably worth it. But Noky not connecting too much, getting decent meds so that fight is drawn out and some damage is able to be applied to that lurk, forcing him to go back. Right now, positioning, feeling pretty strong for the Marines. Let's see if they can get to shotguns in the next couple of moments and pop a life form. Taking the third-person perspective, we're going to launch this cluster as it... Oh, another lurk goes down. This time it is Zex. Yet again, the lurk killer. 3 lurks basically killed by this man himself. I believe that was a relurk, because Green Rex is the only surviving lurk, and 3 of them have died. So at least 1 lurk did relurk. Oh, I take that back. Yeah. No, that's right. But right now, Marines trying to put pressure on in 2 different locations at the same time. Nobody on gates. Both the Marine res lane, res nodes are being hit, and nobody's there to back them up. This push into Baywing might have been ill-fated, although both of these res nodes maybe will be saved. And that's great for the Marines, but they've left open Gravity. Gravity is going to be perhaps going to be turned into a grinder right here. 1 more Marine about to come through. If you can kill the Skull, the gate is safe. Ooh, Ike, moving kind of slow, is able to get out, but if he was the focus right there, he might have lost his fade. This little cheeky repair room res node, lots of fun to see that kind of thing. At this point, you've got enough T-res income with 4 or 5 established res nodes where it's just like a couple of ticks. Oh my god! Snowblind not gonna reload his rifle, instead trying to stick on his pistol, but so much res in med packs right there, 10 res or something like that, sitting there on the ground. Ike almost losing his fade yet again. He's managed to slip out a couple of times, but his movement a little bit slow, and he's gonna get caught sooner or later. Green Rex holding his team on his back. If you look at those player kills, Green Rex right now 22-1. The next closest person to him is Ike on that fade player, MST, right now on Skulk with 9 kills, less than half of the kill lead. Oh, that time we were there before Arab King, didn't get any meds there. Nobody on gates directly, somebody close by, but the aliens are not electing to make a push there. Noky not going to see Green Rex as he flies silently around the corner. Good movement from Green Rex. One of the reasons he's able to kill as many Marines as he has. It's not just good mechanical skill, but the ability to implement mechanical skill while outthinking the opponent. And that's really one of the highlights of this game. We have a game that's so demanding in both aspects. Wraithling gonna try to leak. Lurk taking a bit of damage, but Green Rex is able to clinch the fight and now just has to back off. But yeah, it's been hard for the aliens since this gate was established to make any concrete advance in killing the Marines' res nodes. They were able to take a res node down in EC. And armor 3 coming out. Interesting. I wonder if he's anticipating swipe. Advanced swipe. But now the Marines, unfortunately, briefly going to be down on 2 RTs. Unfortunate for the Marine team. Excellent for the alien team. Zach's going to be trying to find a kill in the hive here. A little strange. I don't think anything's going to happen from it. But he's been shooting really well, and yeah, like Arab landing a lot of med packs, big difference from the last game we had going on. But was that an engagement? Do you want a med? At that point, you're just sort of throwing good money after bad. Because that, I mean, like, what are you going to gain about surviving 2 more swipes there? There's no way you kill that, you clinch those life forms in that fight, and there's no real, you know, finally shotgun's finished. There's no objective there, no Krag, no RT, just funny little engagement in the back of Coolant. So we'll spend some time talking about how money is best spent. We'll look at the scoreboard at the end, see how many med packs he's spent on med packs. Green Rex yet again finding the solo Marine, taking all the pressure off of his team and finding these good kills, just slowing the Marine pressure, getting them back stuck on their side of the field. So strong at this point in the game. They might get a chance to recap repairs. This little Krag maybe getting in position to put pressure on. They might be able to save it if you heal wave with the Krag. It's going to be close. But yeah, the Krag is most likely dead. Not quite though, and is able to get saved. Will be healing itself. Nice little victory there, but Mephiles knows about it. Goes around the corner and shoots it. Now also shooting the Fade at point blank. So little life left on that Fade player, I am sure. Yeah, Ike, again, scooting out of the room with just barely enough HP to be considered alive. Dre, these are meds that do count right here. This is one life form before against the Shotgun Marine, and it's just getting spiked. So those meds, really important that they found the Marine player there. Good scan, and Zach's able to push forward. Noky going to find him, hopefully, and they're going to weld each other up. Zach's throwing Noky his welder. Noky realizing, turning around, healing up Zach's. 2 shotguns on the gate. Mephiles killing Dre. Coming around the corner. Is this the moment he loses his Fade? No, the commander throwing down a bone wall. But they aren't going to be able to do anything about this as the gate gets established. Blensidi taking a very risky engagement. Green Rex has plenty of res, but he finally does go down. It's time to have to force him to do a relurk. Of course, he's got enough to go Ono. So will he go back on the life form that he is best known for and most commanding, piloting, or will he go and spend all his res finally at this stage in the game? 2 Onos already out on the field. Green Rex also gonna go Fade. So 2 Onos out on the field, and instead of weapons 3, you have armor 3. If they had elected to get more Fades and advanced swipe, maybe armor 3 would have been the right choice. Armor 3 never going to be bad, but it's not the right equipment to fight 2 Onos. Unfortunately, with 2 Onos on the field, you really want Weps 3 and MST, flying, leaping, jump, putting a lot of his life on the line there just to kill the solo Marine. Knew he wasn't in trouble, but Green Rex could be almost going down, does go down. Snowblind picking him around the corner. That Aussie ping finally coming into play. It wasn't like anything was, you know, unfair or, you know, Green Rex did fly into those Marines there. That's 100% what happened. But with how much Green Rex was banking, he is almost at lurk res again. And these 2 Onos are going to really love to have some Umbra. Umbra was never... Actually, Advanced Swipe has been up for quite some time. So this Armor 3 really is useful. Although, killing Green Rex as soon as he comes up on Fade, and only having Ike on Fade right now, Ike... yeah, I mean, he's kept his life form alive, and that's super important. Good positioning for this PvE. They're going to have to arc, but they are establishing that Robo, Snowblind, good meds, needs more. Noky coming through now too. Is he going to be able to fend off the gate? He does push them back and doesn't lose his gun. Ike, again, limping out of the room. Look how much med is on the ground, but that was an important fight to med. And that is one you can pat yourself on the back knowing that it was the right decision to buy that engagement. Spending a couple of resources is always going to be good to stop this third hive, but nobody's out. Noky again through the gate. We'll see if we can actually click on him this time. Fade Ike finally dying to 2 nice meat shots by Noky. It's almost always one of the most dangerous positions in the game for a Marine coming out of a gate with a shotgun. It's the best way to lose a life form that there is, essentially. But these Onos, 2 of them hugging each other, but not quite aggressive. They're just playing around, trying to see if they can catch people out of position. Meanwhile, though, not a lot of gains being made by the alien team. You'd like to see them do a little bit more, but finally we have some aggressive sisting from the commander and some more PvE being dropped. 6 nodes trying to be established, but right now these Onos are by themselves. MST committing, finding a good place to jump in. They might go on gate right now. This is a weird position for these Onos to be in, but it looks like they won the fight. This is huge, and it probably spells the doom of the Marine team. Yeah, not much to do at this point but throw up the towel. They do have, you know, they do have this denial of the preferred third hive, although at this point, with the amount of life forms they have on the map, they might just elect... Oh my god, that Lurk going down to 13% health, or 13 points of health. Noky fiercely charging this Onos, trying to do as much damage to him as possible, knowing, sort of reading his mind there, that he wasn't going to turn around and run away, that he wanted to get that power node. But he does kill the power node, and now 2 guns on the low ground. This is such a hard place to recover equipment from, and these Onos are going to be able to run in against these 2 Marines. It's going to be 4 shotguns down on the field at this point in the game, where there's hardly any res coming in for the Marine team. P-res pretty mixed. There are two players holding a ton of res, and Ike does go down again on the other side of the map. 2 back fat. Green Rex just around the corner. Back on his signature life form. But these Marines are really in trouble. There's not a lot to be done at this point. So both teams feeling more confident on their alien side. This is something we've been seeing out of mixed teams, that their alien side is more aggressive and usually a little bit better. I think when it comes to teams that practice a lot together and have a lot of experience, maybe during normal season play or just a really high tier gather, you would expect to see more balanced distribution of victories per side. And a lot of the time with really, really excellent teams, their Marines are the ones that you're really scared of. Zach's getting a little bit too close to Onos, giving him a big hug. That's going to lead MST to boldly push forward. Lots of meds on the ground at the point of the game where you only have 2 res towers pumping. You've got a little bit of res banked, but every med pack has to be carefully considered. Another gate, and I do believe this is the correct gate trying to be established. Ono's going to walk out of that engagement, but that's the thing, you can trade the forward Onos for who is ever healthy, and you can do a ton of pressure like that. Snowblind going to be building this RT. Going to get caught out, though. This is an occasion where you might want to med this, even though you're low. This is super important that Zex is able to push Green Rex out. Otherwise, their entire... Oh, man. And he could have got the kill, too. Zex, again, doing a ton of damage. But Noky throws up the GG. Let's look at the post-match stats as we have as they update. Snowblind doing really good. I didn't see a lot of his kills, but it's, I think Noky showing up in the middle of his team right here, although with 30% no Onos accuracy, fairly dominant, and a ton of player damage. But I mean, like, Noky not being at the top is probably due to him having to make a lot of calls this game. He's probably the one for his team to make most of the strategic decisions. I mean, Backfat and Arab King are both comp players, but they're relatively junior in terms of the flexibility of just understanding how strategy changes in the moment, making those field calls. I mean, like I said, let's see, what was this? I didn't see the bone wall. That was really bad. Maybe. Yeah, so that was a pretty fun round. Both teams taking the alien round, so the game is close. But it'd be cool to see a Marine victory. We haven't seen that yet. Yeah, and see, I'm seeing Datsu in the chat saying Ono's doing blank all, not being as effective as they could be, but just holding that hallway, baiting Marines forward, finding those positions, like that moment where they lost 4 shotguns trying to chase that Onos. If Noky hadn't seen red and tunnel visioned as much as he did right there, maybe they're able to establish a gate with 4 Marines in there, but Noky was just running in like a madman. Let's see. Just checking something really quick. Yeah. I think, yeah, I'm sort of following on the chat. It's 2.5 minutes later or whatever, but yeah, I think Noky is just like, he's a very strong player and super consistent. One of these guys that you can always count on to make a good performance, but I think he's uncomfortable forced into the sort of field command position. And I think he really shines when you're able to sort of direct other people's movement around his, let him kind of figure out his own thing and kind of get people in support of his positioning. I think a lot of strong players, they have the wherewithal and the understanding to sort of pilot their own dude, but they don't want to be piloting everybody else who's behind them. And that's when a really good field commander, a really good player like Golden and Ranger, those 2 names come to mind the most when it comes to people who are able, from any position on the field or in the chair, to really make those kind of calls and still perform at a high whatchamacallit, high level. Let's do something. Is it advanced or miscellaneous? Boop. Apply. Streamer mode. Now we can see gun models, and gun models are fun. Woo. Yeah. So Tramby for this first game series for these 2 teams. Stay on gates. Gonna be starting off on the alien side first. This is another map which we know to death. All right, I'm gonna join Ranger and get him on the stream because he'll be able to definitely do a lot of good commenting. So I think in the name of, all right. Yo, dude, what's up?
Hey. I was just rough on the last one looking. There's a lot of weird bugs last game.
Yeah, there sure were. I've never seen that tunnel bug.
I never saw the legal assist in Oregon before. It's just like under the floor.
Yeah, it was very weird. But yeah, I guess there just the game glitches occasionally.
I think what happened was he dropped the tunnel at the same time Dre dropped his gorge tunnel, so there was two.
If you do it at the exact same moment, maybe it works that way.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it seems likely. I mean, what else would have happened? But yeah, I mean, anything to kind of remark from the statistics of the last game? I mean, we see, I sort of
tech was kind of late. Like they got face tech really early, but didn't put gates up until like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
they had it since like 5:40. Didn't put a gate up for some reason. If they put up grab supply, I think they would have had a better time.
Yeah, we can see that
shotguns before armor 3 probably best.
Observatory went down before weapons 2 or armor 2. Yeah, there's kind of an interesting tech path. Also, med packs coming out. There was 100 expired med packs. The games couldn't be more different. I mean, both these comps not doing exactly what you would hope for medding, but with Wraith there was 50 med packs with in the entire game, and with Arab King we have like over 200, almost 300 med packs. So a lot of that could be part of the reason why the tech path was so slow coming out for his team.
I can see why Arab King has missed meds because he's playing on a laptop at 640 by 480 at like 30 FPS. Wraith, I don't know though.
Yeah, I think Wraith just wasn't medding a lot, which was more what I was trying to highlight versus his accuracy. But yeah, it's just a little thing to keep an eye on from the commander's point of view.
So we got our normal split. Sax with an interesting spot for parasiting here. I don't think this is in rendering, so he might just get pistoled and die.
Yeah, so far he's just waiting to bait a Marine forward, maybe get it Snowblind in position to hit that Marine as he comes through the door. But Zek's finding Blensidi. That's really important because it gives Snowblind a great ambush position. Oh, Green Rex dying!
Oh, I can't believe Snowblind wins both of those.
Yeah. Pretty huge. Able to
get
get
kind of a greedy cap going on in war. Kind of surprised by this. Not going to be punished though, because Blensidi died in hub. And we have Zach sneaking down south.
Yeah, Zek's really performing well for his team. Oh, does get picked. But does manage
to gets picked off by Ike's back jump. But Meth's leaked onto Obs. This is a good play because this is going to drag at least one Marine back. And that stops pressure for a bit. I guess they're just going to let the spawner deal with it. But this RT's going to be like at least half because of that. And Snowblind also leaking on Logi. So now the spawner is split between both of them.
Yeah.
But Snowblind doesn't continue to bite Logi.
He's looking for this kill on Ike, but he could have gotten an ambush. He has the full vision from Parasite.
I think he could have killed the RT.
On the RT. Yeah. But
now the mess fight is the most important here, and it's going to come to Crush as they all go in together. Very nice to see from Alien. Green Rex going to bait this RT, try and pick off some of these squawks here. Oh,
ooh,
wow,
wow,
he actually kills both. And Blensidi might pick off the Gorge.
Yeah, Backfat going down. Okay. Another huge moment for this Marine team.
But because of the greedy cap, we're going to see lurks up in like another like 10-15 seconds. So it's not terrible for aliens. They're going to have a crag here to heal instead of a Gorge, but definitely not ideal to lose the Gorge this early.
Yeah. And this pressure is going to maybe turn into something. We have Skulks that aren't around for the try and control mezzanine. Killing Noky.
Noky just buys time.
Yeah.
Now the 2 lurks are about to pop out. They're going to come through the tunnel. The Crag will die. But the tunnel should live long enough for the lurks to come through. Looks like they decide not to. This might be a base call through north to south.
It looks like it.
Yeah, looks like it is. No one recognizing that they need to guard hub against this. They don't have a second IP up either. This is going to be really hard to recover from. Meth and Sex in base. Sex biting the chair instead of the IP for a second.
Yeah, but
Airplane taking out Blensidi coming back. Oh no.
Yeah, this is most likely game right here. There's not much to do to come back from this.
Oh! MST kills the lurk, but unfortunately it's just not enough. Sex gonna ambush Dre on the way back. Snowblind gonna try and catch up to Ike. Sex picking off Dre. He's still full health, so he can continue to go and fight Ike or Green Rex, whichever one he chooses. Looks like he's gonna help Snowblind out on Ike. They're just gonna crush down Green Rex together in a second.
And with this last Marine, Aliens will win the round. Really smart from the Alien team to realize how pushed up, and it wasn't even that much. Those guys were just in mezzanine as they slipped through hub, but they were able to get behind the entire Marine team, and it was a disaster for the positioning of the Marines.
But yeah, that's always gonna happen. Like, you see, they had information on all of the players. They knew one was an ore, and they had 2 parasites on the guys in Mez, and then they saw the last 2 walk into Mez, so hub was open. If even one Marine sits in hub, that base rush probably doesn't happen. Or at least it is less likely to work, because he could have picked off the Squawks or hurt the lurks enough to stop it from ever occurring. And that would buy enough time for the second guy from Mez to rotate into hub.
Yeah, I'm just wondering exactly how all those Marines ended up out of position there, because we had 2 people rotating into that mezzanine fight. Then one of them must have got picked off in north tunnels. Is that what happened? He didn't actually go mez? Because there were 3 Marines in mezzanine and 1 in ore. Guess nobody was on the spawn queue either.
It was
wondering why there
2
were
Mez, 1 ET, 1 hub, and I guess maybe some miscommunication ended up with 2 many in Mez.
I think it must have been 4 in mez. Because I
It
saw them
ended up
rotating
4 in
from
Mez,
hub.
because 1 came from hub to
Yeah.
Mez, and 1 came from ET to Mez. And they should have known it was open because the guy in ore should have been able to hear the north call faster.
Yeah, I think when you're putting on that much pressure on an important asset like a tunnel, it can be pretty hard to realize on occasion that you're not necessarily dragging the alien team. You hear that lurk timing, you know roughly when it's coming out. You figure that they would be coming for you to clear their assets on the map, but it was really smart for those aliens to notice that they had just a 10-second window to slip through hub and really just destroy the enemy team.
I mean, to be fair, we have some newer people into 6v6. I don't recognize Ike, really, and Dre doesn't really play comp that much.
Yeah, Ike, I believe Ike and Dre are mainly TD and pubs. Dre was playing a lot of TD when it was still new, and I think he was the one who made the TD Plus mod. Am I correct in thinking that? I think
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did
Yeah.
make TD plus.
So he's fairly committed to the idea of 6v6, but it's just not as familiar.
It's less punishing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people go base nearly enough in TD when I watch it. They
Yeah.
just kind of like try and clear pressure infinitely.
Yeah. And I think that's something that even gather players will end up doing, or just like it's the pub mentality of like, oh, there's the engagement. I run towards that, or I've almost killed this skulk, better pursue it down a hallway. When the better thing to do would be have a macro perspective and try to position yourself in a way that really wins the game instead of the individual engagement.
So a little bit of mistake from Marines on positioning there. Aliens really did capitalize on it like instantly. Very happy to see that people actually went fast. Usually what happens in these base rushes is it happens too late and the 4 people in Mez to already rotate out into hub. by the time they finally get ready for it.
Yeah. And as gruesome and brutal as that looked, we're talking about like a mistake that lasted like 5 seconds. You know, had they had one or two persons running back by the time that those lurks were up, then that, like you said, that engagement or that rush just doesn't happen.
Yeah, comp is extremely unforgiving in the early game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just in general, how do you defend against, like, how do you punish pack play in the mid game?
So you have two choices against pack play. One, you try and group up and clear it, which if you don't clear it, you basically insta lose. The other is you try and send one person constantly down a lane while the next person recaps. So say they pack repaired, you send one guy fast up BT to try and drag the lurks away. And then when the lurks are gone, the pack isn't a pack anymore. You pick off the skulks, you try and pick off the gorge. Every fight against packs, you're either trying to commit to kill a lurk or a gorge, or you're trying to pick off skulks so they can't actually kill the RTs.
Yeah, and that's depending on whether you're trying to be aggressive or defending a location. But yeah, it's incredibly important to figure out what's the best target to be shooting at. And oftentimes, when you see people on gates trying to defend something in the mid to late game, it's actually the skulk that's going to be the most important kill, especially if their life forms are fades or there aren't very many lurks. That's really important in those engagements. But yeah, I think one of the things I really struggle with when I'm playing in high tier gathers with a pretty mixed team, but like really good players on both sides, is that if one of those teams really is able to organize their alien squad to deathball, it can be really hard to punish. You have to outthink them and really figure out what your strategy ought to be.
I'm not too surprised that aliens are winning these, because Marines are very hard if you don't have a team of like complete team of like solid people that understand rotations. So it's a lot more common for aliens to just straight up win most of the games in these, because people don't rotate properly or they leave lanes open like that.
Yeah, and I think when you have like two really excellent shooters, what ends up happening is they sort of split from one another because they have to like try to hold engagements, and so you never have your best two guys like killing a life form together. I think making that decision.
Oh, is this a mistake from Dre? I think he's supposed to gorge and mass. That's not good.
I mean, it could be going for the north tunnel block, but no, it does not appear that way.
Blensidi gets picked by Snowblind, and Meth gets good damage on Greenracks already. Little concerned right now for aliens.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to make it all the way into mezzanine before that tunnel gets dropped, but will it be built, and will they have enough time to react? Noky going to get there uncontested and unscouted. That Skulk going to die.
This is going to be really bad.
Oh my god.
Wow. What happened to the ET player? Oh, the gorgeous dead. Aliens have 4 dead. They've lost every early engagement now. So they're about to be in panic mode right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna see them try and force a fight like really fast to try and catch up. But Blensidi and MST not going together, Noky's gonna have free reign of server. I'm gonna kill out 2. Meth gonna clear up Mez.
Ooh,
Killing 2 more.
Nice.
And now it's just down to Greenrack's. Gonna have to find Noky here.
Oh man.
Noky gonna win the engagement. Noky playing a bit out of his mind, but Hub is open to base potentially. Unfortunately, they are egg-locked, I think. Looks like we may have an attempt at a base rush. They're not going to be able to find their way through, unfortunately. Snowblind going to catch both the skulks in a moment. 2 more coming in.
And they're just flying skulks, rocketing them into the muzzle of Marines right here, trying to find a way around these Marines, but just continually losing their life forms. Going to have to buy another round of eggs, and they're just losing pretty much everything here. Yeah, that Skulk that was in ET, the one that was protecting the gorge that maybe could have said that Noky was pushing forward or gotten a parasite on him. He actually tried to peek the Marine building in observation through that vent and got lasered out of the vent, but didn't get the call on Noky. So whoever was playing the Skulk there, not giving enough information to his Gorge player, and Dre making the mistake of going Gorge in the base. Just a sort of confluence of mistakes in order to make them in this really, really negative position that they're in right now.
So this isn't necessarily over, but it's going to be hard for aliens to come back. But lurks are good, so we'll have to see how the lurks play around the situation. Fortunately, Arab King dropped a second IP, so Marines aren't going to have much tech, so it's practically a normal game from here on out if they can stabilize.
Yeah, and the timing around that early tech with Arab King, he's making pretty different choices on the map, but both times he was getting, sort of later tier structures in the OBS last game and the IP this game, and not getting that armor 2 started quickly.
So here comes the lurks, and this is going to be the game changer. They're going to make or break this game for the alien team. Noky still farming some skulks up here in north and platform. Really aiming quite well today. But let's see how he aims against the lurks. Not going to do like any damage at all, which is good for aliens, because they're going to need that help to clear the next set of Marines that are coming. MST going to find Zax in north tunnels. Looks like he's playing it safe. Could have cleared him out, probably.
Yeah.
Green Rex over-rotates to this, so now there's 2 Marines in the server, and they're going to have the greatest spot to ever hold on this map, which is server checkpoint.
Yeah, the lurks
gonna get forced out.
Find a gap between one of the Marines sort of reloading both at the same time, and they get in there. The first lurk tanking a lot of bullets and getting out just like you should, as it's written in the player's handbook. But the Marine's still able to take engagements. Another Marine able to push into platform, kill an RT, and these triple lurks. This is the most important moment for this team to sort of dominate the mid game.
So here comes where the switch happens, right? So now we've cleared all the Marines off their side of the map. Now aliens are on their side, so we're gonna start seeing some ping pong action here from ET to repair. MST getting really low by Snowblind. Aussie ping almost paying off there. Gonna live with 1 HP.
Super close.
Probably gonna make a play towards Meth here. Gonna try and pick him off. Decides against it. Oh, Dre really need to live there for Green Rex to come help him get on RT. So Marines capping back up to 5. They're gonna have an ops face deck started here in a moment. These looks really need to start making something happen right now. MST getting dangerously low. Might get pistoled down by Backfat. Won't make it out by the skin of his teeth once again.
Yeah, and he was trying to be sneaky. I saw him kind of hovering around the side there, but MST not able to close the distance before Backfat turns his gun on him. Green Rex taking a fight against 2 Marines, just delaying as long as he can, hoping for some backup, but now 2 Marines on the other side of the field fighting MST. Good meds from the alien commander, and MST just barely able to get out of there, but now stuck in the rafters. Finally, Blensidi comes to help Green Rex clear their tech position. MST looking for his egress point, finds it, and is able to survive.
Almost dying in ET. He's going to need help from Green Rex to bail him out. Green Rex playing a little bit too safe, though. Plus, he could have been in real danger there. But Marines haven't lost RT throughout all this happening. So they gotta be happy with this early game right now for them.
Yeah, 1 RT was killed. Oh, actually, that's the graph from last round? What the hell? Never mind.
Marines have not lost. They lost 1 RT, I think, in ET once. They're gonna lose their second now. But they have A2, weapons 2 on the way. Again, it is late, which makes this playable for aliens, but like they don't have a second hive up yet. If gates go up before they don't have a second hive, that's when it will spiral out of control for them. They're really not packing down our T's effectively here.
Yeah, somehow Marines able to keep the pressure on. The pack only really forming up to defend things. The Lurk player is a little bit on the cautious side.
All of this comes down to Skulks not leaking onto RTs. Like, Repair's been open for quite a while. Logigate's been dropped, but Greenrex and Blensidi are here, but they're not going to check it. Really surprised that they didn't hear that.
Yeah, somehow missing that audio cue through the wall there, but yeah, it's too bad for them. This is a huge victory for the Marines.
Backfat gonna try and pinch the Lurks through hard, but he's a little bit too late. Marines have dropped to 3 RTs, which is fortunate for Aliens right now, but Dre getting his regorge, and MSD almost dying in Mez once again. But they will have a fade up. He won't have him tapped though, so he's gonna be struggling a little bit on energy.
Yeah, and we saw last round Ike not great at conserving his energy. Saw him limp out of a few engagements.
Noky could have killed the fade egg.
Yeah.
He didn't see it maybe.
Yeah, he did have to contest with that Skulk player, but it would have been
only 18 bullets. It's really easy to kill fade eggs. Oh, Greenrex going down, and this is about to get real bad for Marines going into server. Zek's gonna get almost picked off from behind, but once he has gone down, Wraith try and make something happen here, and the Gorge running for his life will be hunted down. The tunnel will die, and that's pretty much game. They could try and go base maybe, but there's not a whole lot left for this alien team right now.
Yeah, the only bright spot is that Marines are on 3 res nodes. Other than that, it's pretty desperate. The Marines out of position to some extent. Only one in Noky on this gate. Oh, does pick MST's Lurk. That's all 3 Lurk players down, and that is incredible for that engagement. Noky fighting several life forms alone on his side of the map, able to defend the gate and take a life form. Really good stuff from him. Now the economic hurt has really been put on the alien team. The Marines had been stuck at 3 RTs for a long time, but now the aliens are down on a paltry 1, having to buy eggs and still not sisted out to their natural RTs. Ike is going to have to play out of his mind to give his team space enough to reestablish even the most basic part of their economy. It's up to Skulks to really try to pull the Marines back and keep the low-res situation which they've been in, make it more severe, but now the aggressive mezzanine gate will be established. And I love these 2 gate positions when in together. You sort of get the benefit of the more defensive gates that have become popular in this map in both elevated... Wow, good movement from Zex. Almost saves that RT. But this gate is going to go up. And the Marines will cap mezzanine. So they'll be back on 4 RTs in just a second.
And from here, it's kind of just a slow bleed out. Like, unless they magically clear this mezz gate somehow, it's going to be near impossible.
Yeah, well, for just this second, there's only 1 Marine on the gate. Noky, though, just taking these engagements 2v1 all throughout this match. Finding the Skulk kill while a Fade is missing a lot of swipes on him. And the Fade actually runs away, allowing him to get another kill. I don't know how much damage Ike has on him right now, but man, he's playing scared. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think it might be time to think about a roster shakeup. Maybe getting Dre. I think he plays Lurk pretty well. Maybe getting Dre on Lurk and then Ike on Gorge would give these guys a little bit more flexibility. Ike not able to really perform that well on his Fade in this last 2 matches. But great rounds from all these teams, and that'll be it for today. Those are our final rounds until, well, that'll be it until later today. I take it back. There's one more game to be played. That'll be at 5 o'clock my time in the Pacific Standard Time for Northern California. And that will be 8 o'clock Eastern, and I'm not sure what that is CET. But yeah, we've got a big gap in the day before the next round. And I don't know if there's anything you want to highlight from the scoreboard from that last round.
I mean, Noky just kind of hard carried his team, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he, like, Logi, he pushed out the fade. I think he did, like, 250 to him and then hit every pistol bullet on MSD and killed him. He just, like, played really well this game.
Yeah.
His server pressure was helped snowball the game out of control, but I mean, Aliens still had a chance when, like, they got on the side of ET and Ops. Like, they had all the lurks, they got the Marines off their side of the map, they kill ET, and then they just spread out. They didn't clear anything. They should have packed Hub to repair and then kept the ping pong going, but they allowed Marines get back out on the map, pressure them again, and they got stuck constantly trying to defend forever.
Yeah. That moment when they did clear everybody, it could have been the momentum shift that they're looking for, but unfortunately it wasn't able to happen. Now, what do you think about the tech path for the Marine commander? Would you have done something slightly different? I mean, hindsight, this game did go to the Marines, but you're saying that infantry portal was a little early and maybe some tech path could have been differently done?
I mean, the IP was way early. They could have easily had Armor 2 Weapons 1 at like 430, instead they were A1 Weapons 1 at 444. There's no reason for him to get a second IP because it's not like there's lurks coming, and there's no base rush coming because like 4 Skulks just died in repair. And he dropped the IP after they cleared every alien off the map, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense there to get a second IP.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know where the tiers kind of went from to not instantly be able to start an upgrade the second A1 finished, but who knows.
Yeah. I think there were some early meds dropped that actually did lead to getting Noky into a really powerful position, and perhaps that was a way that some of that resource was spent. But yeah, I mean, just it was a really commanding game from Mephiles and Noky. I didn't catch a lot of what Mephiles was doing on the map, but I did see a few engagements by Noky that were really commandingly well performed from him. That kill on the lurk, like you said, in Logi was so good. I mean, it was at a position where the aliens had to make something happen, and instead, 4 Marines outside of range, not able to help in that engagement. Only Noky versus a Fade, a Skulk, and a lurk, and he kills the lurk. That's pretty cool. So great play from everybody. That'll be it until later today. Remember to tune back in a couple of hours. I guess that would be 6.5 hours from now. We will be back online. So please do try to join up and see the games later today. That will again be Noky's team, but Noky's team versus. Hold on. I've got it somewhere.
My
here.
team.
Oh yeah, Noky versus Ranger. So that should be fun. Do you know if you're playing the same maps later today, or?
I don't know how it works, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
I'll figure it out once I get there.
I think what's happening right now is it's sort of left up to the teams.
I mean, we'll see. You might see Nexus from me if I can get it.
Yeah, I'm into it. I love watching Nexus games. Nexus is one of my favorite maps. It's like probably right behind Zombie for me. Cool. Well, guys, stay tuned. Come back to the stream later today. Thanks for joining with me, Ranger. Your insight is always super helpful, and you have a great understanding of the game. So it's always fun when you get to come in and help out. Later today, you'll be playing, so maybe I'll try to rope somebody else into it. But yeah, thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you guys later today. All right. Peace, y'all.